The gang's all here. On this corner we have Lala and EMZ. Over here we have Angel Eyes. We're here to discuss Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, fully in depth. So if you have not gotten a chance to see this movie yet, beware of spoilers.
Yeah, jog on.
EMZ, would you like to start off with the positives?
Yes.
No pressure.
The planet that they went to where it was like a big party and everything, I really enjoyed that, even though I really don't recall the name of the planet that they were on.
I just call it the extraterrestrial version of Midsummer.
Yeah.
Every party you flip and see outside is Midsummer now. That's the reference he makes every time.
Yes.
But no.
Or it's like Star Wars Burning Man or something like that. Carrie Russell is in this movie.
Yeah.
And it took you most of you guys,
I was
the whole
like,
movie
I know her
to figure out.
voice. I know her voice.
You find out that she has a long past relationship with Poe, who was like, was he selling spice?
Yes.
Yeah,
Spice Runner.
I was like, what is this, Dune? What's going on here? The spice? John Williams.
He's in the movie.
He's in the movie. I was going to get to that. There's a lot of really cool cameos, including John Williams, who shows up briefly. We're like, oh my god, John Williams is finally in a Star Wars movie.
Yes.
That's amazing. Now, I'm sure we got all the positives out of the way. Was there anything at all we did not like about this film?
Excuse me, all the positives out of the way? I think not.
Okay, let's get all the positives out of the way.
Okay.
Get him out. What'd you like?
Hold on. Yeah, continue talking. Let me get this thing. Okay.
Sorry, we didn't continue talking.
Yeah, we didn't. I had to gather some more thoughts because
Yeah.
It's just like a lot.
it is because there's a lot that happens in this movie.
True.
The First Order kidnaps Chewie, and everyone's thinking, oh no, they kidnapped Chewie, and then she used the Force to drag the ship, and it ends up becoming a tug-of-war battle with her and Kylo, and she ends up shooting lightning out of her fingers, exploding the ship, and at first I was like, oh cool, she can shoot lightning. Oh shit, Chewie's dead! Oh no!
Yeah.
It was one of the few moments that brought me back to, when Force Awakens came out, when Han died. I was like, ah!
It's like, is this happening? It's happening.
That whole Death Star thing, that was really cool, and seeing Rey as, like, when she goes into this dark abyss to retrieve the object that they need to find Palpatine.
The Wayfinder.
The Wayfinder, thank you.
Or the space GPS.
Pretty much. Having her, go in and then, see herself as pretty much a Sith, just, hissing at herself. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, she turned into, Gollum at one point.
Yeah.
Again,
I was thinking of Bilbo, and he's like...
Oh, yeah,
he's like,
I almost said
"Oh, the
Bilbo, I
ring."
couldn't remember his name. Go away, bud.
He wants to be in it.
I know you want to be in it, but did you see
Lay
Star
down.
Wars? No, you
Lay
did
down.
not.
Lay down.
Leading up to this movie, I binged through all the Star Wars movies in chronological order, and when I got to Last Jedi, I actually watched that back-to-back with The Force Awakens, so I had a better sense of its place in this trilogy and how it flows from being a second chapter in this. And before, I was always in favor of Force Awakens, because that was that got everybody back into this series. And watching it for a third time, I'm actually now more appreciative of the bold risks that Rian Johnson decided to throw in the franchise. Because J.J. Abrams, as much as I love him, the guy is too obsessed with nostalgia and mystery boxes. Because in The Force Awakens, he left a lot of that mysteries open-ended for any filmmaker to tackle. He's like, okay, I'm literally ending this movie with Rey passing the torch to the next filmmaker to tell this story. And Rian Johnson was like, alright, Snoke, we're going to kill him, and Rey is going to be a nobody, and Luke is going to be a hermit that nobody's going to like, but he's going to have a complete arc from beginning to end. Then we get to this movie, and it's basically the first 30 minutes, we're going to retcon virtually everything that we saw in The Last Jedi as opposed to progressing it. The third movie, Episode 9, was actually supposed to be directed by Colin Trevorrow, the guy who did Jurassic World. And he had his script. He had his story written right off the bat. And it wasn't until Last Jedi came out that he found out, oh, you killed Snoke? You killed Luke? I had big plans for those characters. That's it. I quit.
That's not entirely accurate.
What? Which part?
By the time you reach The Rise of Skywalker, you finally realize just how disjointed this trilogy is. There was no clear-cut vision of what they wanted to do with this new series. Like, and that's, you know, a problem that every Hollywood exec should learn from. Like, if you want to make a trilogy, especially one based on one of the most popular film franchises of all time, you've got to have a clear-cut vision of where you want to take these characters in this story next, as opposed to, let's just make it up as we go along.
You feel like it was time wasted.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't understand why everyone is so upset that, like, Rey ended up being related to the guy.
Because there was no build-up to that. That's the problem. And the fact
there's a disconnect, but what I'm saying is, like, it doesn't kill it for me. I'm not saying that you guys don't have, like, valid points. I'm saying that, like, none of that made me hate this movie.
It didn't make me hate it. It just makes
You
it
guys
very,
don't like
very
it.
problematic.
Yeah, but you don't like the movie.
I really
Like,
wanted to like it.
everything that you're saying, you don't like the movie.
I want to like it because it could have been better. You know what they could have done? They could have had Kylo be the big bad and be like, I'm not going to be like my grandfather. Guess what? He completely is in this movie, and it's just, it's aggravating because J.J. Abrams is so nostalgic, and he's just like, I'm going to repeat the story, and everybody's going to love it, and it's going to be great. And, like, it's just...
I like it.
I know. You're in that pool of people.
What, like the average moviegoer? Yes. I'm sorry, Star Wars fans, but if you don't like this movie, you're getting too hard on the details.
Another thing, you know, with Palpatine being back, you know, we saw him get thrown off the ledge from Darth Vader, get chucked into an abyss where he blows up into lightning inside the Death Star that also blew up. So why is he back? And also they kill him again almost the exact same way. So how are we to know that he won't come back in later movies?
And then also, okay.
Oh, and I think I found another positive. Somewhat negative, but also positive. But the scene where, you know, with Han Solo coming back, that was nice.
That was nice.
Although, if Carrie Fisher was still around, it probably would have been a Force ghost to take his place. But since she's no longer with us, it turned out to be Harrison Ford, who was nice enough to come back for one scene. Oh yeah, a lot of people complain about a few newish Force powers, like Rey heals a giant snake creature, which thankfully, if anyone watches The Mandalorian, it probably wouldn't be too big of an issue.
No.
But for everyone else who does not have Disney Plus, they'll be like, wait, what? You can do that? So you're telling me that Qui-Gon, after getting stabbed with a lightsaber, could have been saved?
Right? Obi-Wan probably would have had to give it his life for Qui-Gon's.
Yeah, it's not entirely clear, like, how this all works.
Yeah, because, like, Rey gave life to, like, a couple of things.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, she pretty much almost killed Kylo and then decided to save him, but she didn't die like he did at the end. But,
although I thought that was going to be a back and forth of just the two of them reviving each other all day
it's
and
just,
night.
Right? It's just like, what's this
there are just so many things that there are so many things that are just so like quickly explained and not really well.
Just go with it. I'm falling off the couch.
Yeah,
sorry.
Don't kick everybody off
I'm
the couch.
sorry, I'm leaning on her because I'm so friggin' tired.
Done with Star Wars.
Like, I'm done talking about it!
Shut it!
Another disappointing aspect about this movie was Kelly Marie Tran, who spent the past 2 years being ridiculed and tormented on Twitter after Last Jedi. Only
Super uncool, guys.
yeah, only to be reduced in this movie as basically an extra. That's even more uncool. They could have brought her for the scavenger hunt.
Yeah, they even invited her, and then she was like, "No, sorry, people hate me." So,
And they introduced a new character that could have been Kelly Marie Tran's place. I forgot her name, but she's a former stormtrooper that's living on the same planet as the destroyed Death Star.
Yeah,
I was like,
what's her name?
I don't know. Nobody cares.
Okay.
Exactly.
Was there something else?
Probably.
Probably. As much as we were shocked about Chewie's death, like we mentioned that, he lives like 3 seconds later. And again, with C-3PO getting his memory wiped, only to get it all back when he comes back. So
and that's happened before.
Yeah.
Like,
so
he's lost his memory before.
So the element of, like,
back.
stakes being raised are kind of taken away because, all these characters are going to be safe. That, and they really wanted to replicate the success of Avengers Endgame with all these ships coming out of nowhere with no build up to it whatsoever, unless I missed a line or something like that. Like, how are all these ships here? What'd you do?
Rebels assemble!
They don't stop there. They also replicate Iron Man's line at the end of Endgame with the fight between Palpatine and Rey. Like, I am all the Sith, and I am Iron Man.
No.
That's basically the exact same motif. Anything else you'd like to say, Ems, or?
I don't know. You guys pretty much like
We
blah,
have-
blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Yeah. But
Ignore this happens.
We will sway. Join us.
there's things I like, there's things I don't like.
Yeah, we're gonna quickly move on to final thoughts and final grades.
Okay.
So I
I
guess.
was ready an hour ago.
Yeah. Okay. So Lala, the positive one of the bunch, what would you like to say about this one?
Yes, I am the light side of the force. Yeah, I was very entertained. I laughed. I cried
Yes.
when I was supposed to cry. Not because I hated it. If I have a good time watching a movie, like, that's all I really need. And it's not that I'm just like, but tell me I'm having fun. Like, I'm not watching these movies blindly. I mean, if you've ever heard me do reviews before, you know that I don't do that. Like, just go for pure entertainment's sake. But I love the characters, and for what happened, like, in real life, as far as, like, having to pick up the pieces from the first and the second, like, from Force Awakens to Last Jedi, like, they were vastly different films, and they went in two separate directions, and that's hard. Really hard to come back from and, like, try to make a conclusion out of. And so, in that regard, I feel really bad for the filmmakers and, like, J.J. Abrams, who, like, had to kind of, okay, let's piece it together however we can and try to make the best out of what we have. I think that they did a good job in that regard. Like, there's nothing else to be done. And even though it's very far-fetched, the whole, like, Palpatine thing, I'm just trying not to let that get to me, because I like Star Wars a lot. And
we all do.
I'm just, no, I know. And I'm just trying to tell you guys that if you just want to have some fun and watch some space battles, like, this is a great movie to go see, especially in the IMAX.
All right, moving on to Angel Eyes.
Alright, so, yes, I'm a negative energy over here.
Yes.
In the dark side.
Good.
Alright, so,
Feel your anger.
all the other characters are wasted. Like, we focused mostly on Rey and her story with the Palpatine and everything, and all the other characters fall short. And, like, Oscar Isaac's character, Poe, like, he never really does take up the mantle of General Leia. Shut up.
Yeah, you know we're right.
We are right.
Oh my god, if you're expecting a freaking Christopher Nolan movie in Star Wars...
We're not
We're
expecting...
not expecting that. We just
You're missing
want
the point.
continuity.
I'm not missing the point. I said your points were valid. I'm just not affected by it like you guys are.
Say what you will about the prequels, but they were planned and they added more to the story.
Don't open that can of worms.
Okay, we'll cut that. Just
For me, this took a lot of pondering, of course. Most of us here, we've only seen this movie once, so we're only going by the one viewing for
First impressions.
first impressions.
First impressions.
For all we know, if this movie comes on...
Bless you.
Bless you. For all we know, if this movie comes on Disney Plus and we watch it again years later, we might have a different opinion. It could be higher, it could be lower. It could really depend on our mood that time. But as I'm feeling right now,
The
this
Vanilla Sky effect. That's what I call that.
it might be that. So here's hoping it works for me the next time I see it. But right now, this is probably one of the most disappointing movies I've seen in a while. The only way I could see how this whole thing could have worked is if J.J. Abrams just directed all 3 films, written them all, and had a singular vision. It might not have been perfect. Everyone would have a difference of opinion no matter what, but at least it would have stayed consistent, which is not what we got here. I'm not completely done with Star Wars.
Never.
I don't think all of us here, I don't think we'll ever be done with Star
Never.
Wars. In fact, even the bad movies, like the prequels, we still watch them every now and then. Based on, our love for Star Wars and my love for bad movies,
Yeah.
Right now, this is one of my least favorite Star Wars movies. If I had to rank it, it's probably below Solo, And I like Solo. But that concludes our review for Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, as well as my 100th review for Midnight Movie Madness.
Woo!
Thank you all for joining me. We have Angel Eyes, Lala, Ems. Even though we have our difference of opinion, we all come back and, say what we can about movies in the most positive way. Happy holidays, everyone. And
Go see Star Wars!
May the Force be with you all.
Yes.
I don't know, you want to do another take, or...
What, another ending?
I don't know, I didn't really write this out very well. Much like the writers of the movie. Well, that concludes our review for Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, the 100th review for Midnight Movie Madness.
Yay! Woo!
I'm so happy to have all of you guys together with me to discuss this very divisive movie. I know we have our difference of opinion, but
Indeed.
I'm glad we are able to talk about it in a fun and positive way. Come here, guys. We have Angel Eyes, we have Lala, we have Ems, and
And the host.
the host. Like, who am I forgetting?
The host.
Thank you
Merry
all.
Christmas, y'all!
Is there a positive saying from Star Wars that they usually say?
I have spoken.
Be kind.
I have spoken.
That works too. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, I'm the host,
I'm Lala.
I'm Ems.
And I'm Angel Eyes.
and we'll see you all next time on another Midnight Movie Madness. Alright. Alright.
Come on.
Come on. You
Yeah.
want to come up? Alright.
Go.
Alright. Alright, we got Max here.
Punch that bell. Do it.
Do it!